Craig.
Meeting starting.
Did you say that?
Welcome everyone to committee meetings for the 8th of September. Committee meeting tonight, we'll start right off with County Services Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to open county services at 6:04. And
Do have a request from Leanne Shearer to come up and speak. Louis, you can come on up.
Bear with me, this is my first time ever doing anything like
You're
this.
from Coxsackie?
Yes. This is kind of some follow-up questions from the July meeting. That was a workshop meeting that we ended up using the floor. And a couple of the questions I have is that, with the homebound meals, they were making it sound like they were so much cheaper. But at the same time, if we did it with an outside source, then what I'd like to know and see is a comparison of with the outside sources money, whether or not they're counting in the cost of management. And you guys said that you didn't want to close our facilities where other people go and have community meals, so we would still have the rental on those buildings. And so I would like to see how much it really is cheaper than they were saying our meals were like $19. The other thing is there's been rumors going around about they wanted to close Athens and build a whole new building in Cairo for the meals to be prepped at and everything. And I was just wondering what the advantage is if you're really worried about money and different things, what the advantage of was that, as well as this is one of the cheapest ways that you take one volunteer and they're seeing 12 people and dropping off a meal and visiting the person shortly, briefly, but one person can see between 12 and 15 people depending on their route in an hour and a half. There is no other way for our community, in my opinion, to be able to deliver that kind of a wellness, even though it's quick, a wellness check. But you have to figure each day of the week, they're probably seeing the same person. And they're really getting to know that person. They'll pick up the paper, they're gonna put a smile on their face. And the whole purpose of NYSOFA, because I know one of the gentlemen said something about this isn't a Catholic charity. No, it's not. But NYSOFA is to keep our elderly in our homes. Excuse me, sorry, I'm getting nervous. To keep people in our community. And this is one of the cheapest ways we'll have a daily wellness check. No, our volunteers aren't trained in people's health very well, but you do know if you see someone's off, you do know if someone's not coming to answer that bell. And the keeping people in our home for our whole community is cheaper than putting them in nursing homes. And it also gives them a much healthier and better life. That's it.
I don't know that we have any answers for you tonight, but it's still in discussion. And to Amanda's chagrin, we have not come to a complete agreement on this as far as where we're going, but we agree that what the purpose of the program is for.
Okay,
So
I just feel like things keep getting shuttled under and no one really wants to let the rest of us what's really happening. And the whole idea of secrecy over it, which is what we're getting the feeling of, is not very comfortable.
Well, I don't know that it's beneficial to put anything out that hasn't been decided. And that's kind of where we're at. We're talking about all of these things that you've mentioned, the central kitchen, a different delivery avenue, a whole different model. We're talking about all of it. Where we wind up, I don't know yet. If I did, I'd give you a clue, but we just don't know yet.
Okay.
Where we're gonna be.
Okay, great, thank you.
Well, Amanda, was I off with that?
Even if Athens, the central kitchen, Athens isn't closed.
So I don't know where that came from,
No,
but,
I didn't say after disposal.
Oh, okay.
The cooking facility there.
yeah, that means just, again, that was only thing that was discussed was that we may use a central kitchen elsewhere, but it was not, there's some improvements that would have to be made to the Adams building for the kitchen, so it was just, is it really the best spot to be centrally shipping food out of versus a place that's a little bit more centrally located in the area.
Right.
So that was really the only.
And again, they're all being looked at. Daryl?
I would like to say that we have received letters from people in the community, in Greene County, and, such as yourself, that has came and spoken, and I must say thank you. And I think it's great that you're, trying to give an input. So the more input we have, of course, the better decision we can make as far as what everybody wants. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. We always have more input.
Amanda?
So the first thing I wanted to just touch base on is the Community Day event. Is this Saturday. If any of the legislators are interested in being involved in the opening ceremonies, it's at 11 a.m. and that's at the Carroll Town Park. And Senior Day, I believe you've all been invited to, that is on a Friday. Gonna be a busy week for us. And I have flyers here if anybody would like a flyer. I don't know if anybody wants them for businesses or put out in the community. So in addition to that, the only other thing that's on the agenda today is, I've been looking at the Senior Angels program and the Veteran Relief program that we have. Out of concern for the sake that it doesn't take the county out of always being at conflict with decisions that are made with those, it's like a charitable fund. I don't know if everybody knows how it works, but, donations are made on behalf of seniors to the program. We put them in a separate bank account, but then decisions are made if somebody needs, an emergency fill up in their oil tank, or they need a new mattress, or their vet bills need to be paid. The inquiry comes into the office, we fill out an application, it's met on and decided on with like 4 individuals in the office, and then a payment can be made. My concern with that is that, there's a lot of seniors in the community. And we're seeing some of these seniors, they're our clients, and some of these seniors are not our clients. So I think it just creates a conflict for us when making a decision as to whether or not somebody, it's a more biased decision that's made on those. And then there's individuals that, we have a maximum lifetime award, but they call us back and they're our client, and there's more issues around, maybe that they can't afford something. So out of the sake of just making this a conflict-free program, we're gonna have the healthcare consortium be the holder of the funds. We'll continue to accept donations on the behalf, and we'll forward those donations on, and we'll be monitoring the program alongside them. And one of our staff will be on the committee. Actually, Mike Brony's in the back. He also volunteered to, or maybe I won't told you, I'm not sure, but as a community member to be on the committee as well. So decisions won't be made just unilaterally by that agency, but it takes that, the thought that the county is really making a decision on a charity, payment, which I kind of find us, like I said, to be in a little bit of a gray area on. So that's the goal, is that will be passed on to the healthcare consortium. They manage the cancer funds, prescription, it's like a support fund that helps people with their prescriptions and things like that. So I just think it's just a better place for it. And, if there's any concern, the way the contract's written is that we can pull it back at any time. So, but we will continue to monitor it and be in charge of it from that standpoint.
Similar to what we do with college.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it just, like I said, I think it just takes the county out of being, if we have to deny somebody, then, we've had, Sean's gotten calls, I'm sure legislators have gotten calls, and it becomes a very contentious, situation for us. So I just think it takes us out of that equation. So that's all I have.
Question.
Yeah.
Regarding the resolution.
Yes.
That, in the payments that are shown in here, is that a one-time payment?
It's a one-time, that's what the bank balances are. Yep,
Okay.
yep, as of the date I wrote that would be the bank balance as of that date. And then the plan would be, like I said, any future payments, we're gonna keep the bank accounts open. Any future payments that come in and donations on both of those entities' behalf, we will just cut a check to them, you know, on a monthly basis or bi-monthly. To the consortium, yep, to pay them, you know, or to forward the funding, so that way it goes right into that account, so. Did you have a question, Joe?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So the meals now are being delivered in an aluminum tray? Or some of them are coming in, they've been delivered?
There's been, I actually was just having this conversation in fact, there's been some issues with the temps. I don't know if that's, I would have to confer with the staff, but that might be because of the temps.
Some people are kind of concerned because they will go right in the microwave, people put them in the microwave, and
Yeah.
they're not plastic. And
Yeah, and I think it was because there was an issue with them holding temps. I mean, I don't, again, we were running into this issue even before I went to the central kitchen. What I'm finding is that the temps are making it to each prospective, senior center high enough. It's once they start, some of these routes are quite long, or if somebody else is filling in, they don't really know where they're going. They take even longer than they normally would, so we are losing temperature. But I can double check. We have a meeting tomorrow, so those are some of the questions I'm gonna be looking into, so, yeah. And that, I believe, was a concern we always had. My understanding was at one time there always was metal containers, and we went to these olive trays at some point in the last 5-10 years. And the concern, I think, back then was that some people may put them in the microwave.
Right.
So
thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions?
But we did use them. I remember when I delivered that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're actually, to be quite fair, they're much cheaper. We have to rent those Oliver machines, and we have to have a minimum bulk quantity order of, I wanna say it's like 250,000 units, so that may be an issue for us contract wise, so I'm not really sure, you know, depending on where the meals end up and how many we end up producing, may end up being a problem. We both ordered during COVID. So there's a ton of supply right now at the Athens location, but I don't know, again, long term, if we may need to go to another option, so. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Anything else?
Thanks.
Thank you, Amanda. Okay, we will get into the one proposed action item. Authorizing memorandum of understanding between Greene County Department of Human Services and the Health Consortium.
Yeah.
Right.
Handle and Leg. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.
Motion closed.
Second that.
Leg and Handle. All right,
James.
we are closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to open up Public Works at 6:17 PM. First thing I'm gonna do is hear from Scott Pelican, our Highway Superintendent.
We have a very short agenda today. I'll go through the report pretty quick. Although there hasn't been much movement on what we have here, our crews are definitely very busy this summer, especially now with paving season. We're trying to wrap up. We should be wrapping up paving by the end of this month, beginning of next month. So starting on County Route 40 in Maple Crest, right now we're in the environmental and historical preservation review of that project. Because of the large taking of that one property, it's going through a little bit longer process. County Route 61 Bridge, it's currently in FHWA review at this point. We kind of got delayed with the right of way, which caused a delay submitting it to FHWA. We've lost this construction season, so most likely that project will go next year, but the entirety of the project, not just a portion of it. As you know, last several meetings, I've been saying that we've been trying to get a portion of that bridge and the slide repairs this year.
Right?
Yeah, the slide repair this year and the bridge next year. Unfortunately, we missed this window of construction season, so it looks like both will be next year. Black Grove Road Bridge, we're still working through the design of that one. On the locally funded projects, County Route 2 culvert in Brattsville is currently underway. Keller is actually moving quite quickly. The precast concrete beams are to be set this week. So that should be still on schedule for mid-October completion. So it will be completed before this winter road opened, and at least so we can get snow and ice control completed on that road. Falky Road Bridge scour repair was completed. The safety flag was removed by New York State DOT, so we're good with that one. The 23B driver feedback signs in Caro, there were delays with the material, but the material has arrived, and actually most of the signs have been installed. They should be in operation by the end of this week. 23B slope stabilization and sidewalk repair on Jefferson Heights. Unfortunately, we did not get any bids for that project. So we will try to rebid this later this year. But you will see some activity in that approximate location for Central Hudson. They are going to be removing the lattice tower. It's next to the round monolithic tower that you currently see. They will be replacing that tower with a new tower. So for the next 2.5 months, you'll see some traffic stop signs and traffic lights there. That is Central Hudson's work.
When you rebid that, is that going to change the scope of the project, or did you hear any feedback from any of the contractors to why they didn't?
The sheet piling subcontractors. Basically, everybody was already booked this year, and they couldn't get into the schedule that we were trying to get this work done before the end of the year. Just was too aggressive a schedule for most contractors to bid it, to get the subcontractors on board. So
Does
hopefully,
winter bother that type of an operation?
it does. It does, but because they've already are on other jobs, so they didn't want to try to risk a delay with that. I mean, we got caught last year out in Halkett with driving piles. So that's definitely something that I'm glad they didn't try to bid it and then get us caught in the middle of winter trying to do this project.
Scott, do we have someone monitoring the movement of the plan?
Yes, we are monitoring the sheet piling right now. We have, we go up there and monitor probably once a month. It hasn't moved recently, but this is not the typical time of year that it does. Springtime is.
Right.
Springtime is your typical.
Right.
It's a freeze thaw. Once it starts thawing, that's when all of our slides become more active. It's inherently, that's.
Central Hudson took the guardrails down.
Yes.
Do we own the black one that was there? Does the county own that, or is that something?
That was part of the sidewalk project. That is actually the town's portion. I'll have to look into that. I
They
think that's
took all of that down as well. I was
It's-
curious if they were going.
when
to
the
fix it.
sidewalks were completed, the sidewalks and everything associated with those sidewalks were turned over to the town. Now, the town, I believe the town of Casco has passed a law or local law that says that the sidewalks are the responsibility of the property owner. I'm not exactly sure in that section who the property owner is.
No, I know the agreement was the town was going to rework the snow, but I thought it was a county sidewalk.
Yeah, there's a portion where, yes, there's a portion in that section that the county owns.
Right. And I think it's that piece where they took all those guardrails down.
Central Hudson's required to replace anything they remove, are required to replace.
Okay.
Scott, are you concerned where they're gonna be excavating for a remove tower that they could contribute in any way towards?
We are monitoring both,
You are,
yes.
okay.
When they start drilling for the foundations of the new tower.
Right.
We'll certainly be out there to monitor whether, I mean, right now it's the sheet piling that's kind of is failing on the sidewalk section.
Yeah.
But there is a portion, there's a gap between two sections of sheet pile that we're concerned about. We're simply gonna have to monitor it. Solid waste, we awarded for the maintenance building and scale house. Hopefully we can get the contracts straightened out, signed, and get the contractor on board and start construction. That's pretty much it.
Scott, do we have any update on the Reed's Main Street project there?
Yes, we're actually tried to get a public meeting with one of the restaurants out there. It didn't quite work out. They didn't have availability, or the timeframes didn't quite work. So we're gonna get the other one, I believe, the Irish Center has availability in the back room, which wouldn't affect their typical business hours. But now we're trying to get the engineer involved to draw up the boards and get a public meeting out there.
What's the time frame are we looking at for?
Possible, I mean, it really depends. It depends on what the scope ends up being and how quickly the right of way goes. We shouldn't have to take too much right of way, which should speed up the process, but I'm hoping next year, but that would be an aggressive schedule.
I thought we were gonna have this public meeting in August, talked about last time, now we're in September.
Correct. We've been delayed quite a bit. I mean, we're trying to get the engineers to draft up something that's as realistic as possible. I don't want to show the general public something that's not
Yeah,
as close to what we,
thought we had something, it was a big drawing. that-
it was, but it wasn't as, I mean, that was very rudimentary. Anything that we show to the public, I'd like to make sure that it's as close to what we have, or close to the,
Well, I understand it, I'm just a little frustrated that it's taking so long.
Is that being announced?
the design is still, designs and everything is still moving forward. As far as what the public meeting is, just when we decide to have it.
So can we safely assume that we're not gonna break ground at 27? Or is that too far?
27 would be the latest.
Late.
Latest.
Well, we're definitely gonna have the public meeting in the
Yes.
near future,
In the next several weeks.
several weeks, 3
Yes.
weeks, okay. All right, that
We were trying to get it, based, because of holidays and everything was lining up and
okay.
we were working with the restaurant, it just didn't work out with us. So,
The B and L engineer,
yes,
I think you just gotta tell the engineer, he's gotta get something to you in a couple weeks here, that's pretty solid,
Yeah,
so.
there's, there's concern, obviously, people are excited about the project, so they wanna see the project, the scope.
it is, and it's, even if when we do, I'd like to temper I know everyone's excited and the general public sees it, and then the next question is, well, why isn't it going, what happened, whereas, if we get into right-of-way issues and we start to get a delay in that process, because it is federally, it still has to go through FHWA, it still has to go through all those review processes, which takes a little bit of time. I don't want to put it out too soon, and then the next question is, when is it gonna happen, when's it gonna happen, when's it gonna happen, why doesn't it happen now? The same questions I have for bridge projects.
We've done everything at this point that we need to do,
Correct,
correct?
yes,
Okay, and the applications to the feds, everything, right where you.
we are in the
Okay.
process of submitting all the paperwork and trying to work with HUD, which is a different program that we've ever worked with before. But that's why V&L was chosen as one of the engineers to do this, because they're familiar with the HUD process.
Experience.
Our office is not experienced with HUD, working with HUD. Housing and urban development is not a program that we typically we use for our bridges and roads.
Your hazardous waste day Saturday went well.
It did. We got because of the expected rainstorm, we got a big push in the beginning. We had about 280 cars, which was good for the day. I mean, I know that there were several events that were occurring on Saturday, so.
Smooth.
Yes, and the contractor again, thank you for Pete Kuzminski. Our sheriff's department was out there monitoring all day long for us. And the contractor, MXI, did a fantastic job, so, as they always do.
Hill Street, do we have a date on that?
Do not have it, the week of the 23rd, they should be up there paving, well, milling and then paving.
Thank you.
Scott, last month I asked you if you could, send a map of the
Yes,
road you're paving, send an email via. Send it to all our legislators. so
Yep, I have.
We know what roads yous are doing.
I have this map and I'll provide it to you. Yeah, if you have any questions, just reach out. It's a little small as far as trying to zoom in and seeing exactly where the paving ends and begins.
I think our resolution improvement actually tells you.
It has, it has
Road
the
and valleys.
sections,
Yeah.
but I'm working with, Ray Ward, so next year's is gonna be a little more. Look, I mean, this is not as detailed as what I'd like to see.
Do you happen to have any update on that issue concerning Heart's Content Road and that heavy construction with the Blackhead Resort up there?
No,
That-
I know that they were having concerns with that. I do not know where it ended up.
Can you take a look at that?
Sure. And that's for that new development that they plan
Yeah,
on doing up
the
there.
concern was that all the heavy equipment that's gonna be traveling on that road, going across some of Catskill bridges in that area.
I can tell you that
Handle the.
we do not restrict, we do not restrict, weight limits on any of the county roads. The only time that we restrict any weight limits is based on a deterioration or a restriction based on structure from New York State DOT. So we don't restrict. I know town roads, can, the county and state does not.
You could-
Unless there was a bridge,
Yeah, if you could just take a revisit that issue that I sent everybody.
and all of our bridges are rated for whatever.
Yeah, there might have been people that had concerns that they had in the community about that, about the road itself, but just take a look.
Sure.
Please.
Scott, I remember there was a project, I thought it was with public health, about sidewalks on Route 145.
Yes.
What's?
That's the corridor study?
Yeah, the Durham corridor study, they were doing stakeholder interviews now, looked like how they're doing there. Primarily looking at about from just south of the intersection with Durham High School to past Hanley, about 7 miles. Just looking at safety hazards.
It's one of those feel-good studies,
Yep,
just saying,
kind of like they're doing it in Baltimore.
totally feel-good study.
A $16 million project that'll never happen.
They're concerned that our children who walk to and from school are going to get hurt on Route 145. But our children, we have school buses in Durham. They're safe. They don't understand the community, which is, I'm glad they're going to be doing outreach because it's not like Sean Marriott and I sit there in the meetings and we kind of shake our heads like, what are we doing here? It's just, there's money available and they want to use it and they want to give it to us for whatever.
For a study.
Saying, sorry, James, but.
Hey,
Just wanted to
Greenville
say
has sidewalks. And the school bus picks up the kid right next to the school. And then drops them off at the end of that.
Yeah.
And the house right next to the driveway for the elementary.
Do professional services.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay, thanks, Scott, appreciate it, buddy. Okay. Appreciate it.
Racket.
Yeah, we kidding. One proposed action item tonight, we are gonna be awarding bid for abrasives used in snow and ice control.
Right,
Handle leg, Martinez, okay, all those in favor, all opposed? Motion is carried.
Motion to close.
Okay, motion to close.
Second.
And second, we are closed.